Okay, we're now going to start factoring. There's different types of factoring. They can ask questions in many different ways. The first thing you should do whenever you're asked a factor is ask the question, what's the same? And when I say what's the same, I'm saying between these two terms, is there anything that's the same? Meaning, can anything be pulled out of it? Is there anything that will multiply into it? And you can do this with numbers and you can do it with letters. For this one, we're just going to do numbers. In the next video, we'll deal with the letters and we'll mix them together and do both. So for right now, let's just talk about the numbers. Now, we talked about greatest common factor in our last video. So if I take a look at this one, what number will go into 6 and will go into 9? And you should see that that answer is going to be a 3, okay? And then I have to write a parentheses. We're kind of doing backwards distributive property if you think about it. So we're really dividing this out. So don't think add, subtract, think divide. If I take a 6 and I divide by 3, what's left over? The answer is 2. And I had an x, I didn't pull them out, so my x is left over. Minus, I have a minus there, so I'm going to keep a minus right there. And now I have to ask myself, what's 9 divided by 3? And that's going to be 3, and that is my answer. So if you also want to double check, distribute it. What's 3 times 2x? 6x. What's 3 times negative 3? Negative 9. Okay? Let's try another one. You're going to get these just by doing these. If I look at the letters, I have an x squared, a y, and no letter. So I can't do anything with the letters. They're going to stay. But is there a number that will go into 15, 20, and 5? And you should recognize that one pretty quickly that, yeah, a 5 will go into all of these. Now, this one's got a little bit of a trick in it, so watch this. If I pull 15 out of 5, and remember, you're thinking dividing. Don't write 10. You're not subtracting. You're dividing. So that's going to become a 3x squared. That says plus, so this is going to say plus. 20 divided by 5, you're left with a 4y. Now, here's where some people have some trouble. I have a 5. I pulled out a 5. Nothing's left over. Done. Put in parentheses. That's incorrect. Because remember, we're thinking dividing, not subtracting. If you have 3 in the question, you need to have 3 in the answer. Okay? So that minus needs to come down. And what is 5 divided by 5? And the answer is 1. So when you're doing this factoring in the way that I call what's the same and what's left over, remember, if you have however many terms you have in the question, you have to have that many terms still in the answer. If you pull everything out, it's going to end up being a 1. Okay, so it's pretty basic. That's all we're doing. Now, I'm going to do a couple trickier ones for you. I just need to erase the board, and I can do it in a snap. Okay, so let's take a look at these that I have up on the board right here. Now, this one is leading with a negative. Usually you pull a positive out, but if the first thing you're pulling out starts with a negative, sometimes we'll pull a negative out. Honestly, you'll get the same answer no matter what you do. But since this one leads with a negative, I'm going to pull a negative 4 out, okay? Now, if I pull a negative 4 out of here, I'm just left with an x. A positive or a negative x? Well, I had a negative 4. I divided it by negative 4, which makes it a positive 1. Remember, this is just division that we're doing, which makes you also look at this. I have a negative 8. I divide by negative 4. That's going to be a positive 2. Okay, because the negative divided by negative is positive. Remember, you can always double check this by going back. What is negative 4 times x? Negative 4x. What is the negative 4 times positive 2? Negative 8. Okay, so just watch your negative signs. If you pull a negative out, it means these signs are going to be different when it's all said and done. Okay, now let's take a look at this one right here. Remember how I said that you don't really have to get greatest common factor? It'll just go quicker. I look at this, I can pull a 24 out of both, and then I'm done. So it's good for you to find the greatest common factor. Let's say I don't see it. Let's see, the only thing I saw was that a 2 will go out of this. Okay, so I'm going to pull out a 2, and I'm left with 12x plus 24. Now, that's going to be a wrong answer because it's not fully factored out, because my answer, I can pull more out of that. But the 12 and the 24, now you might be able to see another factor. So maybe you look at this and go, wow, you know what? I can pull a 4 out of both of those. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull another 4 out. By the way, you can go further, but let's not talk about that. So I'm going to pull, and I'll circle that so it doesn't look like an exponent. So I'm going to pull another 4 out of this. If you pull another number out, just multiply the outside. So 2 times 4 is going to be 8. And now if you think about pulling a 4 out, well, pull a 4 out of that 12, I'm going to be left with 3x plus 6. Cool, I'm done. Well, wait, take a look at your leftover. Ooh, I could have pulled more out of there. What can I pull out? I could pull a 3 out of that. Okay, all right, let's pull a 3 out. So if I take the 3 times 8, it's a 24, boom, and I'm left with x plus 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now, if I saw the 24 right away, I could have gone there and not done the extra steps. But what I'm trying to show you is if you're not sure what the greatest common factor is, just do something. If they're both even, just pull a 2 out. And then usually when you start pulling stuff out, you'll look at the answer and go, oh, now I see what comes next, if you don't have your division facts all completely lined up. So just pull out something and then look at what's left over and see if there's more to pull out. So greatest common factor is great. It'll make it go quicker. But if you can't get the greatest common factor, that's fine. Just look at your answer and make sure there's not more steps to go. Okay. There's some worksheets. Work on these. I'll be there with you doing some videos with them. If you love worksheet A, you're doing great on it. You don't really need to do B and C, but give it a try. Let's see how you do.